stage is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Andreas Lee, and I'm one of the founders of Stravito. Before I started Stravito, I'm actually a startup guy. The past 25 years, I've started 3 companies that I've sold to 3 multinational companies. The last venture before Stravito was actually I started a tech-based shopper research company called Norm and SimStore. We ran that company for 14 years, and then we with about 90 employees, and we sold that to GfK in 2015. So while at GfK Norm, we were asking ourselves, what is actually the final delivery to our client? And then we came to one answer. It's actually a static PowerPoint or PDF that you email to one person on the client side. And that person then stores it on a local server in the local country. Hence, very difficult to share knowledge across categories or across countries. Because it's like this, one document can only reside in one specific folder. And then we're asking ourselves again, why is it so that one document can only reside in one folder? Whereas at Spotify, for instance, one song can be on several playlists, right? So that's why we started Stravito. At consumer research intensive global companies, we gather all ad hoc consumer research at one place and make it accessible to everybody in the organization and searchable, so you get answers to your business questions in seconds. To zoom out a little bit, yesterday there were a lot of discussion about information overload, and I agree, because 90% of all the information that exists in the world today was created the past 2 years alone. In the past 2 years, more data has been created than in the entire previous history of humankind. That's a lot of data. And we can be 2 types of persons. When we sit in the S-Bahn, we are a consumer, right? And when we walk into the office, we are a knowledge worker. So among all this information, as a consumer, if you have a question, you go to Google. It's very intuitive, you don't need any training to get started, and you will probably get your answer within a few seconds, right? But then you come to work and you have a question, and then your starting point often looks like this. It's a corporate folder structure. So how is this relevant for your company? Because in companies, 80% of the data that exists in your companies are actually unstructured data that is in PowerPoints or PDFs. Yet less than 1% of that data is analyzed or being reused. And the problem is that this amount of data is doubling every 1.2 years. It's doubling every 1.2 years. So SharePoint, in the long term, will not be enough for a big organization. So we are a pretty simple mission. Our mission is simple. It's to simplify knowledge discovery. So since we have a market research background, we started with ad hoc research. So we go into big companies like Danone. We gather all the ad hoc research at one place and make it searchable for anybody within the organization. This is my last slide, and I'm on time actually. So we started this company. This is a very young company. We started this company 1.5 years ago, about in the beginning of 2007. We came out on IEX together with Danone, where we have done a global rollout across 120 countries, across all their CDUs. Since then, we have a lot of new clients, for instance, Carlsberg, Friesland Campina, and Colruyt, the biggest food retailer in Belgium, and Absolut Vodka, and many more, actually. We won the Red Herring Top 100 Award this year, and the past 1.5 years, we received 9 million euros in funding. So the sky is the limit, and that is my last words. 6 seconds left.
for sharing this with us, Andreas. This was really perfect timekeeping.
Yeah.
Even taking the applause into account, it was exactly 5 minutes. So I've got 5 questions to you.
Yeah.
And I would appreciate a swift answer, more or less to the point, if
Yes.
possible. I know it's
Yes.
not as easy as always. First, I would like to know, when was your, let's say, magical moment when you realized, okay, the world outside there needs exactly this product? When did you realize it? What was the situation like?
But it was a long process actually, since I ran Norm for 14 years, and then I was a global director at GfK for 1.5 years. So I thought everything was so inefficient. The clients from Spain called me and said, I heard you did a shopper visit in the UK, can you share that with me? And then a lot of clients started to call me, and then we asked them, don't you have a platform where you share all the knowledge with each other? And they said, no, we don't. And then we decided, okay, let's do it. So when my contract with GfK ran out, I said, okay, we're going to start this one.
Great. So question 2 is, I mean, it all looks so easy.
Yes.
And it must be tremendous technical effort behind.
Yes.
What is the biggest technical challenge when doing this?
It's actually to recruit tech talents, because in Stockholm there are so many tech companies like Klarna, Spotify, King, and the tech talent is rare. That is the challenge, because the demand is immense. We have more demand than we can supply actually.
Okay, so and what? Let's say if I would give you, let's say like $5 million investment capital, what would you do with it? How would you conquer this world?
I would do exactly like we plan to do now, because we have 9 million euros and we're growing with 300% every since the start. But it is a challenge, because this is not like selling an ad hoc research shopper project for 40,000 euros, because that decision can be made in 2 to 3 weeks, right? If you sell an enterprise solution, the sales job is much more rigorous. You have to go through procurement, you have to go through legal, you have to go through IT, and you have to go through convince the users. So the process is much longer, about 10 months, the sales process, whereas a research project you sell in 2 weeks, right?
And my 4th question is, at the end, who is going to buy this stuff and also use it? Is it just C-level, as I would expect it, or is it also below?
No, I think the users are everybody who works with brand, category, marketing, product, sales. The decision making is usually C-levels or very senior people.
And if you take, that's my last question, the market researchers perspective. So
Yes.
most of these people outside there are market researchers, also coming from institutes.
Yes.
How does it change their world? I mean, it's just an alternative. It's to some degree competition, isn't it? How does it change the game?
No, but I think it changed the game that I think their data that they have charged 50,000 euros for come to reuse more often than before. And also, for instance, we're talking with Kantar now and Mintel, for instance, because some of these companies have data lake, external data lakes. Mintel, you get trend reports through a login. So then, apart from the ad hoc research that resides in documents, we try to connect external sources also, like Mintel and Euromonitor and these sources, so that you can go to one search engine and search for sugar trends, and then you get the results from Mintel, you get the results from your internal documents.
Great. So thank you, Andreas.
Thank you.
And I think it's now the next one.